Hello, I'm the Reverend Eleanor Smith and I'm a minister in the Staffordshire Moorlands Methodist Circuit. I think it's really important that we remember Holocaust Memorial Day, which is the 27th of January. It's a day when we remember the 6 million Jewish people who were systematically persecuted and murdered by the Nazis and their collaborators during the Second World War. In 2017, I spent 10 days studying at the International School for Holocaust Studies, which is at the Yad Vashem Museum of the Holocaust in Jerusalem. I learnt about the causes of the Holocaust and the history of the persecution of the Jews and how the restrictions on their lives gradually increased once Hitler came to power. I heard about the death camps like Auschwitz-Birkenau and was taught about the final solution of 1942, which was to exterminate all Jews in Europe. I also heard the amazing and emotional stories of 2 Holocaust survivors. Now, these weren't men who went to the death camps and survived, but men who managed to escape going to the death camps. Genocide is when a group of people is targeted for destruction just because of who they are, such as their race or their religion. The genocide of the Jews, the Holocaust, is unique because the perpetrators wanted to exterminate every single Jew in Europe. The Jews call it the Shoah or catastrophe. The 27th of January is the day when the largest of the death camps, Auschwitz-Birkenau, was liberated in 1945. It's one camp on 2 sites. This is Birkenau camp as it is now. The trains of cattle trucks carrying the Jews came through the entrance and into the camp on these railways. Note the shape of the entrance to the site. And now you'll see the entrance building in the background in the old photo. Here the women and children are being separated from the men. There will then be selection. Those deemed fit enough to work will stay alive. The rest, about 90% of the arrivals, will be sent immediately to the gas chambers and their death. This is what I saw on my visit to Birkenau. This is inside a wooden hut where the men slept in 3 tiers. And this other photo is what it was like, with 4 tiers of bunks. Notice that the men hold on to the one item that is theirs, which is a food bowl. Notice their shaved heads and how thin and skinny they are through the lack of food. The men who slept near the floor had to put up with rats and smells and dirty, disgusting floors. In a moment, we're going to hear a poem written about the train carrying the Jews to the death camps. And this is a cattle truck used to take Jews to Auschwitz-Birkenau. About 100 people were forced into one truck. There's no room to sit, no air, no food, and just a bucket for a toilet. Sometimes it took days for the Jews, babies, children, mothers, fathers, grandparents, days for them to arrive at the death camp in a truck like this one. In the old photo, you see the Jews disembarking from a cattle truck. Notice the star that every Jew had to wear on their coat.
Auschwitz by Charles N. Whitaker. The semi-quaver chugging of the train on the track, and the people on board who will never go back, and the terror in the eyes of all the young ones to go, with no one knowing as the train comes to slow. Those men at the station as the ramps drop down, where humanity lost is the only crippled sound. Hope gone for those who stand behind the hard, sharp wire, and the smoke in the towers rises just a little higher. And the blue ink stabs a little harder in the skin, above the veins of despair where murder let it in. And the terror in the eyes of all those about to leave. Another train on the track, no last-minute reprieve. And the slow, crotchet chugging of the train on the track, and the people on board who will never go back.
Survivors of the Holocaust realise that it is really important to tell their stories whilst they are still alive. We're now going to listen to the testimony of Helen Aronson.
My mother, brother, and I stayed together, but we were separated from my father. We never saw him again.
Why is it important for us to remember? because people are still discriminated against today because of their religion, their race, their sexuality, or another element of their identity. Hate speech and prejudice are frequently seen online and in the news, and the number of hate crimes recorded each year is increasing. A survivor of the Holocaust, Jean Salter, says, "Hate and division spread like wildfire, enabling human beings to do the most horrific acts against one another." Anti-Semitism, which is hatred against Jews, is still prevalent in sections of our society. We heard earlier that genocides have happened in 3 places around the world since the Holocaust, and at this very moment, genocide is taking place in the region of Darfur in Sudan, which is in Africa. 2 survivors of Auschwitz speak powerfully from their experience to say how important it is to remember. Primo Levi says, "It happened before, it can happen again." And Elie Wiesel wrote, "To forget the dead would be akin to killing them a second time." Thank you for being willing to participate in this Remembrance of Holocaust Memorial Day. It's not an easy one to engage with. By watching, you learn more about genocide, understand the impact of anti-Semitism and prejudice, and take steps to work towards a better future.